You're doing great, you're all in, but somehow you push down hard on the brakes.
In this episode, we talk about why you keep stopping, why it's really unhelpful to your inner critic, and the things you can do to move forward and stop stopping. Hi, I'm James Davis.
And I'm Claire Davis.
We're the Midlife Mentors, here to lift the lid on how to achieve health and happiness.
The balanced, no-nonsense way.
Hello and welcome to the Midlife Mentors podcast. I'm James.
And I'm Claire. Hello, hello. How are you doing? Wherever you are.
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing.
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing.
What are we talking about today, Claire?
We are talking about stopping. Now, what do we mean by that? Right, so we're going to dive into this. One of the things that sounds familiar to so many people is they start on a goal, they've got, you get it all sorted, you get your actions, you get your SMART goals, you've got your times, you do all of that. If you listen to our podcast on goals and your why, you've got all that sorted, it's amazing, you're going great guns, you're all in. But then, all of a sudden, you put the brakes on. You literally come to a grinding halt, and then you flip completely the other way and you stop altogether. In fact, some of you might not just stop altogether. You might do the complete opposite of what you need to be doing in order to get to that dream, that goal, that desire.
Some of us don't stop stopping, we just stop ourselves even getting started as well. So I think that can occur, procrastination on a grand scale. And it's going to appear in like months of research. You've got a clear idea what you want to do. You kind of know how you're going to get there, but you decide you're going to spend that little bit longer researching, like which coach should you work with, what program is right for you, which university should you go to.
I used to do this all the time.
And before you know it, not only weeks but months, sometimes years have gone past and you still haven't actually got started towards your goal.
Guys, true story, 14 years passed for me. Honestly, I honestly think 14 years passed for me. If anyone knows the story, a lovely lady actually wrote in saying that she listened to one of the podcasts about our story and how actually it genuinely did take me 14 years to stopping.
Yeah.
Just keep on going.
So what happens? So it can be like, sometimes we don't even get started. Now, sometimes, like Claire said, we're started and it's going great guns, and then we just sabotage it in some way, and it can show up in a lot of different ways as well.
So why does this happen, Mr. D?
Why does it happen? It's because our pesky subconscious, which we talk about a lot on this podcast.
Yeah.
Because it does play such a major role in our lives. The better we can understand it and understand how to work with it,
the more compassionate we are.
The more compassionate we are ourselves, and the more we can actually allow ourselves to grow. So we liken it to this. When we've got a goal we want to go for, our goal is on the other side of a deep chasm with a raging torrent at the bottom, and going over that chasm is a wobbly, rickety rope bridge.
This always gets more elaborate, this
example.
I love it. It's very sweet.
And our subconscious always wants to keep us safe, but for the subconscious, it might be a state that we're in that we're really suffering in, but we're alive. So our subconscious believes that we are safe in some way, so it wants to stop us changing that state because it's a threat to our very survival in the eyes of subconscious. So we decide we want to go for that goal, we want to cross that metaphorical rope bridge. Our subconscious will be there, flicking through all of our memories, all of our beliefs, many of which are embedded at childhood. It's going, is it safe to cross the rope bridge? And 99% of the time, subconsciously go, it's not safe to cross the rope bridge, which is why it will stop you even stepping on the rope bridge, which will be you're like spending more and more hours of research. Oh, I don't know if this is right, don't know if that's right, maybe I'm going to invest this money and I won't get anywhere, etc., etc. It'll stop you. Or you'll get onto the rope bridge, it'll be trying to stop you, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then you'll get halfway across and feel so much fear, because what happens is it starts talking louder and louder as it feels more threatened, that you get pulled back over the bridge. So this is why it happens. It's only our inner critic trying to keep us safe.
And this does show up, like we mentioned a few things there, like procrastination, self-sabotage. One of the examples that we give often is, you've done like 2 weeks, we're totally anti-diet, anti-fad diets, all that kind of stuff, but you're doing a diet, you're great guns, 2 weeks in, you look in the mirror, or you step on the scales. That's the best one. You step on the scales and they haven't moved as much as you expected, your expectations had, and then guess what? You go and reach for the cake, you drink the booze, and all of it, you're like, oh well, I've messed it up now. And here's the thing, what happens then is your subconscious mind goes, I told you so. I told you so.
Oh, we've all had that.
You're a failure. You're never going to win at this. You're never going to win. Why do you keep trying? And every time that happens, you lose trust in yourself, guys. And that is why it's so important to stop stopping.
It's like, we've all been there, waking up in the morning, like pounding head, minus your trousers, and your subconscious going, I told you, you couldn't just go out for 1 pint.
Oh, James. But yeah, it's it can come up in like self-sabotage, it comes up in procrastination, it can come up in going, I've just lost motivation for that. I must be doing the wrong thing because I don't feel motivated towards doing it anymore. I must be doing the wrong thing. All these little things come up, or like James said, you start researching different ways. You convince yourself that hasn't worked, so you must go on to the next shiny object.
Failure to launch, we call it.
Yeah, the next thing is, it's all excuses elaborated by your subconscious mind to stop you growing.
Yeah, and here's the thing, you have to be compassionate with yourself and with your subconscious. It is just trying to keep you safe, but safe is not necessarily a great state to be in, because here's the thing, we can't be comfortable and grow at the same time. So we can't live in a state of safety and a state of growth. They're opposing states. So if there's aspects of our lives that we want to change, if we want to transform, if we want to grow, we have to take those steps and do it. And I've got we can tell you the good news in a minute of like how to work with it. The bad news is this is never going to go away, right?
No.
Wherever you are now, whatever you have around you is the sum of your beliefs and your experience so far, and really a summation of how far your subconscious will let you go.
Wonderfully put. I love that.
Any goal you go for that is outside
Stretching.
of your experience, your subconscious is going to try and stop you doing it. Even though you might consciously want it, you might be like, oh, I really want to get super fit and lean, I want to feel great, I want to do this course. Subconscious will be like, oh, I don't know about that. Could be a threat to our very survival. So
well, yeah, because it always takes the path of least resistance. It always seeks pleasure over pain. And here's the thing, we always say to clients, and we have to remind ourselves of this, because we've put ourselves in a situation where we've moved to a completely different place, and we are definitely outside our comfort zones. Do you know what? It is when you feel that fear, when you feel that anxiety and any of that self-sabotage, any of that stuff coming up, actually, what you need to know is it is a beautiful, beautiful example that you are moving beyond the realms of what you are right now. It is you expanding into the fullest version of your potential. It's actually a great signpost. You feeling that fear, you feeling that anxiety, that self-sabotage, whatever you want to kick in, it's a beautiful, beautiful example that you are stretching into the fullest version of yourself.
And the reason we're telling you all about the background to this is because when we can bring awareness to it, we can understand what's happening. We've had personal experience with this, just recently. We've moved countries, uprooted, moved to a completely new place where we don't really know anyone or our way around. But we're in a beautiful apartment, we're on the beach, and we're kind of going, oh, can't believe we're actually here, this is our life. Guess what? That manifested for a couple of days with Claire and I really kind of like being quite mean to each other and sniping each other. And we're both like, oh, we're really happy, and in this place, this is what we've manifested for ourselves. Like, why are we creating this needless drama? And it's just like, it's something which is like trying to create that resistance to what's occurring. So what it's trying to make us do, really, if we're honest about it, is go, oh, you're not safe here, scurry back off to London where you're familiar. But we know we're happier here, or as happy here.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say like how that manifested for me, because I think it really, really helps. So that whole stopping thing, the whole purpose of this is like not to stop, right? So when that stuff came up for me, and I can only speak for me, James and I are pretty similar. We're very blessed. We can discuss this stuff with each other because we understand each other. But for me, I definitely didn't want to get up and exercise. I didn't want to go to the gym. I'm going to be really honest with you, I didn't really want to do all the Facebook posts and the Facebook lives and everything else that, you know, goes along with being an entrepreneur. I didn't really want to do it. I didn't have the motivation. I felt like I'd lost my way a little bit. And that is just because put myself outside my comfort zone. My subconscious mind is triggered. It's saying that it feels unsafe and it's dropping into anxiety. So it's trying to stop me. Guess what I did? I'm aware of it and I just did what I could. I just put, even if it's one toe in front of the other, one toe. James is going to make a joke about my long toes now. Long toes.
Well, why? Put one toe in, you'll be halfway to America. Wouldn't you? Exceptionally long toes. Frodo, we call you.
Stop it. Sorry, guys.
Very elegant toes, though. Very beautiful toes.
Like, I've got to tell you this true story. I did actually, the only stone on the beach in Ibiza when we were back there, the only stone on the beach, I managed to stub my toe on it, and I think I did break it.
Well,
I did.
Leave those things trailing behind you in the water.
Giggle my way through the rest of this, but yeah, it was really important just to know that, just one long toe in front of the other. Just do what you can, guys. Just don't, for goodness sake, stop, because every single time you stop, you are sending a signal to your subconscious mind that you are a failure, and it is harder every time you try to start again.
Yeah, exactly. So what should you do? Well, the first thing there, like I said, bring awareness to it. So for us here, you know, I know from experience, it's really easy to let, you know, grotting in a relationship, run. You both get more and more narky with each other.
Cheers for that. Yeah. Grotting.
And, you know, that can rumble on, and then you're not really quite sure why, but you're both really off each other. But we actually both like go a serious conversation, go, right, why is this happening? Okay, well, you know why it's happening. So let's just get rid of it and fix it, which we've done, which is awesome.
Cross words in between, that's fine. Yeah. Don't mind sharing that.
So getting awareness to it is the first thing. Once you can understand what's actually happening, you can kind of take the emotion out of it and then make an action plan to deal with it. In terms of actions, like Claire said, the fact that resistance is coming up for you is actually a really good sign. It's basically the last signpost of fear to try and stop you going forward. So it's generally a really good sign you're going in the right direction. Growing. So you need to basically just keep moving forward. Like Claire said, put one long toe in front of the other. And ideally in the direction of your goal. But we also have a thing we call energetic action, which is just doing something maybe not directly related to your goal, but something that would be energetically aligned to it. So, you know, deciding to do a good deed for someone, make an effort to feel more positive about something. Anything that's kind of taking you in the direction of your goal without necessarily being directly on it.
Do you know what I did the other day? I decided to paint my toenails the other day. Not these ones, the other ones. No, they've all
take you all day to your toenails, isn't it?
Oh my God, I keep talking about my toes. I am so sorry. This should be titled Claire's Toes Podcast.
Get the roller out.
Guys, I'm going to stop laughing in a minute. I'm really trying not to giggle. I'm such a giggler all the way through this. No, but, you know, even that energetic action of making yourself feel good about yourself.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
getting a haircut. Just doing what you can to move forward and not sit in kind of that spiral out of control.
Exactly.
Set milestones.
So like often, you know, we part of the fear is we can let things drift. If we know we've got, you know, don't think about the big goal, but the smaller goal that's taking you towards it. Set milestones, and when you hit them, celebrate those wins. Yeah. Really celebrate them. It's really important because you're reinforcing to your subconscious again. It's actually like, this is the path I'm on. I've just stepped onto the next plank on the rope bridge, so I'm one step further forward, and celebrate it. And here's why all of this will work, because we have a thing in psychology called congruence theory, which basically means our behaviours and our beliefs have to be aligned, else we're in a state of what we call dissonance. So what's happening is when we grow, when we're taking new actions, our new behaviour is out of sync with our old beliefs, which is why our subconscious is freaking out, trying to get us to stop the behaviour, you know, stop crossing the rope bridge, stop, you know, going to the gym, stop studying for that course, and pull us back to our beliefs about, you know, we can't do it, it's safer to stay where we are, etc., etc. At some point, you know, our beliefs and our behaviours have to align. So if we don't give up on the behaviour, and we keep moving towards it, at some point we're going to be more than halfway across that rope bridge, and our beliefs have to come into sync with it and go, you know what? I can tell this is the new you. This is what you're doing. So let's get behind it now and go forward.
I mean, we do a whole loads and loads of training on this in our Midlife Method course, and we do it. We do it inside. We'll talk about our Facebook group in a minute, but we do it inside our free private Facebook group, the Midlife Mentors community. Search for it, find it, and we do so much value-led content in here about how to align your beliefs with the actions you are taking to supercharge your results for life, basically, and stay there.
Exactly. So, I'd like to think about the last time. I've got a little exercise for you here. I just think about the last time that you had a goal that you were really set on, like a big goal, and you just stopped for whatever reason. Or maybe you had the goal and you never got started, or you've got a goal and you still haven't started it because you're stuck in the procrastination phase, or you did start and you stopped. Think about, first of all, what could you have achieved? Where would you be now if you had carried on? Because a lot of us get so overwhelmed. We call this, people ignore the opportunity cost of decision. So often when we're looking at decisions, we'll evaluate the cost of them. Oh, it's going to take me so much time. It's going to cost me this much money, whatever. What we fail to do is, like I was saying to someone the other day, if we want to achieve something, but we spend the next 3 years thinking about whether we want to start it or not, or stop, in 3 years' time, we're in the same place and we've got the same feeling, the same emotions. We haven't moved forward, and that is the opportunity cost, which is going to be greater than anything else you'll put out there.
Like, think about the cost of your inaction. What's the cost to your relationships? What's the cost to your health? What's the cost to your financial situation? Really, really think about that, because it's so true what James is saying. People think about the cost of, doing this stuff, what it's going to take, the financial, the invest, blah, blah, blah. We can all sit there and wait for those times to be perfect, but actually, you don't get time back, guys. Let's be really, really honest with you. Don't get your time back. What is the cost of you not doing anything about this? Exactly. And keep stopping.
So think about the time you stopped, and actually reflect on what happened for you there. What if there might be a concrete thing, it might be general feelings. What happened? How did it feel? What was the emotion around it? And how does it feel now, looking back, knowing you stopped on that dream, on that goal? And like we're saying, imagine, what if you had carried on? What if you had succeeded? Where would you be now? How would things be different? Because by knowing what our patterns are, we're programmed to run with patterns, and many of us have similar patterns repeating. So by identifying patterns from the past, it makes us more able to deal with patterns in the present and the future going forward. So we want to bring awareness to the default patterns that we go to.
Exactly. Just on that, 90% of our thoughts are the same as the day before. So no wonder we keep repeating our lives basically over and over and over again. So awareness is key.
Yes.
So we have the patterns that we default to. So creating awareness, being compassionate with yourself is really, really key. But what we want you to look at is what your current goal is. So have a think about your current goal. And now bringing awareness to what resistance can you expect to come up around that goal. What are some of the triggers, I would say, as well? What are some of the triggers and what's some of the resistance you can expect that are going to come up around that goal? Because awareness is power. What are you going to do to move through it? We really, really want you to actually maybe pause this, go back and answer those questions that we've actually posed to you here. Don't think, I'll go back to those and answer them at a different time. You won't. Really allow this time. If you're taking the time to listen to this podcast, do the work. It's really, really important.
And lastly, think about what you'll do to move through the resistance when you encounter it. And again, look back to your past patterns so you can anticipate to a degree what might come up. What actions could you take, both directly aligned and energetically, to move through it?
What could you do differently?
Yes, what could you do differently? Our summary.
Stop stopping, guys.
Just stop stopping. If you've got a goal, if you've got a dream, go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not easy. Life gets in the way. But I think the most poignant thing is just actually thinking, what is the cost of me keep stopping? So we would love you to join us in our Facebook group, like we've said. It's a private group for the Midlife Mentors community. So in the notes to this podcast, we will pop the link in there to join us. It is where we run challenges to reset for midlifers. It's where we run virtual retreats. It's where we pop value content constantly to make sure that we are sharing our passion and knowledge with you as much as we possibly can. Because guys, you deserve to live the most happy, healthy life you can imagine. Even if you don't see it right now, anything is possible for you.
Certainly is. Sending you all so much love.
So much love, guys. Mwah.
Yeah.
You've been listening to the Midlife Mentors with Claire and James Davis.
We'd love to hear from you. So drop us a line at info@themidlifementors.com with any questions or topic suggestions.
And make sure you join us on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. You can find us under the Midlife Mentors.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.